Welcome to CleanMedKE, where we make clinical medicine and surgery clear, structured, and clinical. Today, we are breaking down the pathophysiology and diagnostic approach to anemia. Before we begin, please note that this content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Anemia is fundamentally a decreased absolute number of circulating red blood cells, or hemoglobin. While a healthy state ensures optimal oxygen delivery to tissues, an anemic state results in impaired delivery, leading to tissue hypoxia. Diagnostically, we look for hemoglobin levels below 13.5 grams per deciliter in males and 12.0 grams per deciliter in females. Clinically, patients often present with fatigue, conjunctival pallor, dyspnea, and tachycardia. When you identify low hemoglobin, your next move is to check the mean corpuscular volume, or MCV. Think of this as your diagnostic compass. It tells you the average size of the red blood cells. We categorize anemia into three paths based on this volume: microcytic, less than 80 femtoliters, normocytic, 80 to 100 femtoliters, and macrocytic, greater than 100 femtoliters. The golden clinical rule is always check the MCV first. To understand why the anemia is happening, we look at reticulocytes, which are immature red blood cells. Think of the bone marrow as a factory. A low reticulocyte count, less than 2%, suggests a broken factory. The marrow is failing to produce enough cells, either due to missing raw materials like iron, B12, or folate, or actual damage like aplastic anemia or CKD. Conversely, a high count, over 2%, indicates an overworked factory. The marrow is healthy but is frantically trying to replace cells lost to bleeding or hemolysis. Why do cells shrink in microcytic anemia? It's all about hemoglobin production. Hemoglobin is made of iron, protoporphyrin, and globin. If there is a flaw in any of these components, the cell follows a specific logic. It undergoes an extra division to keep the hemoglobin concentration as close to normal as possible within its volume. This results in microcytosis and hypochromia. To remember the causes of microcytic anemia, use the TAILS acronym. This stands for thalassemia, defective globin, anemia of chronic disease, sequestered iron, iron deficiency anemia, depleted iron, lead poisoning, blocked heme enzymes, and sideroblastic anemia, defective protoporphyrin. Iron deficiency anemia is the most common cause of anemia worldwide. It is usually driven by bleeding, such as heavy menses or GI bleeds, or poor intake, which we see in strict vegans or those with malabsorption issues. Keep an eye out for unique signs like pica, craving non-food items, glossitis, or koilonychia, spoon-shaped nails. Treatment involves oral ferrous sulfate, ideally taken on an empty stomach with vitamin C to aid absorption. In anemia of chronic disease, the trigger is chronic inflammation, such as rheumatoid arthritis or malignancy. Inflammation spikes interleukin-6, which causes the liver to release a protein called hepcidin. Hepcidin's job is to lock iron away inside macrophages to starve potential microbes. The result? The body has iron, but the bone marrow simply cannot access it. Differentiating these is easier with a synthesis matrix. In IDA, both serum iron and ferritin, stored iron, are low, while the body's hunger for iron, the TIBC, is high. In ACD, serum iron is low, but ferritin is high because the iron is being sequestered. Sideroblastic anemia is the opposite, showing high serum iron and high ferritin. Thalassemia involves defective globin chain production. Alpha thalassemia involves gene deletions on chromosome 16. Having all 4 genes deleted results in hydrops fatalis, which is lethal in utero. Beta thalassemia involves point mutations on chromosome 11. In beta major, the bone marrow expands so much to compensate that it can cause chipmunk facies and a crew cut appearance on skull x-rays. For lead poisoning, remember lead. Lead lines on gums and long bones, encephalopathy/basophilic stippling, abdominal colic, and drops like wrist or foot drop. In sideroblastic anemia, iron is trapped in the mitochondria. A bone marrow biopsy will reveal pathognomonic ringed sideroblasts. In normocytic anemias, the cells are normal-sized, but there are too few of them. If reticulocytes are high, look for destruction through hemolysis, evidenced by high LDH and low haptoglobin, or acute hemorrhage. If reticulocytes are low, it's an underproduction issue, such as aplastic anemia or chronic kidney disease, where the kidneys fail to produce erythropoietin. Finally, for macrocytic anemias, we distinguish between megaloblastic and non-megaloblastic. Megaloblastic anemia, usually B12 or folate deficiency, features hypersegmented neutrophils. Vitamin B12 deficiency is unique because it often presents with neurological symptoms, like numbness or dementia, and shows high levels of methylmalonic acid, MMA. To pull it all together, follow this master synthesis. Start with low hemoglobin, check the MCV to branch into size categories, and then use secondary tests, like iron studies, reticulocyte counts, or blood smears, to find the definitive cause. Did this diagnostic algorithm help you synthesize the pathophysiology of anemia? If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to CleanMedKE for more high-yield clinical breakdowns and visual study guides.